Hey fam, thought it was time for us to get into a little Black Monday. We're on season 1, episode 5, and this is 243 days until Black Friday. And if you've been watching from the beginning, you understand what that means. So this show begins with a sexual harassment course that's been requested by Mo. It's being taught right there in his office to everybody who works there. This is bad, y'all. I'm like, that sexual harassment class is nothing but vulgarity and disrespect. But basically, Mo wants the guy giving the class to stress how it's frowned upon for interoffice dating. Why, you may ask? Because Mo is still pissed because Don was sucking face with Blair last episode, if you remember. Okay? Rules are you can say anything you want to a woman, you just can't touch, but only attractive and of childbearing age women. This is what the man's saying in the harassment class. Like, that's how insane off the hook this time frame is at work. Let me see. While this is going on, Don is probing Mo because he's been acting weird since the whole pageant night, okay? Mo says that he didn't meet her afterwards as planned. And she claims she didn't show up either and wouldn't know if he did or not, okay? We all know that's bullshit because she was there and she got a little feelings hurt, okay? Basically, they brought a resuscitation doll into this class to show how not to treat the ladies and end up brutalizing the hell out of it. I'm not even going into, like, you'd have to watch to see what they do to this doll, but it's downright shameful and funny as hell, okay? Tiff has Blair on Slim Fast in preparation for their prenuptials that are coming up. Or, I'm sorry, their nuptials. Man. Okay, anyway, him and Dawn are discussing this. Blair and Dawn are both noticing that he's been acting strange, okay? And they don't know why, but we do, okay? Dawn claims their kiss was just a drunken behavior mistake, basically. And Blair's kind of hesitant to agree with that. I mean, although he's engaged to his woman, back together, but obviously he still has little feelings there, okay? So Mo is then invited. They get a notification that Mo is invited to the LA for the annual Not Predators Ball. That just sounds suspect, don't it? Okay, even though Keith planned to go with Mo to this, Mo is taking Dawn, and he lets Keith know. But even though Keith is upset about it, he's like, look, you get to stay here and be in charge of everything while I'm gone. This office is your bitch. And Mo's like, okay, I can handle that. Or I'm sorry, Keith's like, I can handle that. Okay, so this event is the creme de la creme of matchmaking of money to the people that need it. Okay, that's the whole reason behind this ball that's glittered with prostitutes, dancers, strippers. It's just ridiculous, but apparently these rich men found a cool way to match these folks together. Okay, Mo says it's kind of like the Illuminati, but with much less butt stuff. Okay, sidebar. We're going to have a conversation about the Illuminati later because I've been hearing way too much stuff, and you can only hear way too much stuff for so many years till you really start wondering what's true, okay? Keith is left to host a shred party at the office, okay? Mo wants him to utilize the hell out of Blair because, as we know, Mo is low-key pissed at Blair, and this is the way to get back at him. So Mo and Blair head out to LA, and when they're there, I noticed even more that they're wearing the clothes with the shoulder pads and the colors. Oh my gosh. There's never enough 80s for me. I don't even know what to say, y'all. Whole bunch of 80s. At time, Dawn, I said Mo and Blair. I'm sorry, Mo and Dawn are the ones who went to LA. Dawn's color scheme. Sometimes I love it because I'm here for it. You know I love the big hair, but oh, sometimes it's really, really bad, okay? Back at the office, Blair, who's left there, he tells Tiff that he has to shred papers instead of take her out, and she is highly pissed because she is noticing that these guys are bullying him. All right. Okay, so basically, Keith leaves the entire shred job to Blair. Him and the rest of the office guys go out and they're partying it up. Okay, back in LA, at the gala, there's tuxedos, hookers, platters of Coke. People are literally walking around, waiters, platters of Coke, handing them to people, snorting it up, okay? Apparently, this is how it went down in the 80s. That's kind of exciting, though. Like, real, totally wrong, but when you think about it, you're like, I might have tried that, okay? All right, so they're greeted by a guy who lets them know that they're the first blacks and the first woman who is not to be a hooker at this gala, okay? And although that's totally offensive, obviously Don and Mo, they know what's up and they take it as it is. Back at the office, Blair almost dies when his tie gets caught in the fax machine. It's literally one of those instances where he's pulling down and you're saying a little prayer for him, okay? He ends up basically being able to reach out to a pair of scissors to cut the tie to save his life. It's one of those, I almost died in an office accident. Ridiculous. Okay, Mo and Don basically are there. They're doing their thing. They party all night long. When the sun is coming up bright and early in the morning, they're going back to their suites. They look like townhouses that are set up duplex styles, but it's sort of like a resort thing. So they're going back to their own private suites. And when they get there, during the party, I got to say this, they had gladiator style fighting. And Dawn was the bitch, okay? She beat the brakes off this dude. You would really need to see this, because if you appreciate a good gladiator fight like I do, and I do mean on the old Gladiator show, not an actual gladiator fight when they use the softy cover stick things. She beat the shit out of this dude. It was funny as hell, okay? It was good. What'd I miss? I'm getting my notes confused here, y'all. Okay, yeah. All right, so Mo seems like he doesn't want to let Dawn go. All right, it's like he's trying to expand their conversation, even though obviously she is so tired, she can barely keep her eyes open. But she says she can hang in there. And at this moment, when he feels she's tired and vulnerable, he explains that he needs money pretty bad during this weekend. And she's like, why? Like, what is the big deal? What's going on? Remember, Don's partner, and she knows what's going up with that business as well as financially. All right. He's like, the Azuka who almost took his finger last episode, the Asian guys that he owes a lot of money to, basically, they made him give 30% of his jammer group as collateral, okay? He did this and didn't say a word about it to Dawn, and this wasn't yesterday, okay? So Dawn is pissed. She is highly pissed, okay? So he brings up her lying about not showing up at the Cedar Tavern, which is where last episode they were supposed to meet at the end of the night, okay? She realizes he was there because he says that she wasn't. Oh, I'm sorry, he says that she was. He claims to know how women work, basically mentally with their actions, and she isn't dumb. She knows what the hell's up. The next day, Tiff calls Blair, who fell asleep at the office, okay, because they didn't get to go out the night before because of the whole shredder incident that was taking place there. She is pissed he is letting the other guys bully him. She's like, just because I never worked like your precious Dawn, I'm not supposed to know they're bullying you. By the way, she is jealous of Dawn, okay? This is the rich girl that grew up with parents taking care of everything, and she saw her man that she loves with Dawn, who's at work grinding, getting it, okay? As far as that role is concerned, there's no comparison between the two, and she feels some kind of way about it. He explains he has no feelings for Dawn. He tells her to get them reservations for tonight at this high-scale restaurant. Then we're back with Mo and Dawn in L.A., and they're off to meet a monetary mystery date, someone they could possibly get into business with and get money from. Okay, and it ends up being the twin brothers from the very beginning who sold Mo the Georgiana Jean thing. It's these two dickheads. Okay, Wow, they're bad. Mo is not trying to do business with them. He's highly pissed that they're in there. The guy that brought him to the twins, he's like, look, I'm not feeling this, blah, blah, blah. Dawn wants to hear him out, though. And she tells Mo that. And Mo's like, fine, whatever. He leaves, and he leaves Dawn there. So let me see. She stays. And Dawn basically, their conversations go into a racist type thing. And Dawn is not at all affected. This is so regular in the 80s. It's almost a non-fucking factor. But it is, okay? Basically, they admit to want to screw Mo. That's what the twins are here to do. That's their point of doing business with him. And she says, who says that's off the table, basically? She said, Blair, ugh. Oh my gosh. Now we're back to Blair at the office. We're going back and forth just like the show did, okay? So Blair's stuck at the office and Tiff is losing it. She calls to check on him. He's still there. She's about to blow a gasket. Okay, back to Mo, who goes to see his mentor, okay, who is so rich. He's in a hospital and he's secluded basically, but come to find out he's the absolute only patient there. Like, that's how rich he has. Basically a hospital facility at his convenience. And then we're back to Blair at the office again, and Tiff shows up with an industrial shredder. Of course, one of her daddies, because this is how she gets down, okay? But she brings in this huge shredder to do all the work for Blair so that they can get it in, which is ultimately exactly what they end up doing it in the office. Kind of hot. I'm feeling her. Do what you got to do. Okay? Let me see. Then we're back with Dawn with the twins, and she shares, once they push the deal through, basically, if they decide to do business with her, which is what she's proposing, that she's leaving Mo's group, basically for pawning a 30% to the Yakuza. She's not respected as a woman in the business, and she's highly pissed, and she's ready to go, and she shares that with them. Okay, then we have Mo, who talks to Dawn on the phone and lets him know that she struck a deal with the twins, basically. And gosh, can I read my notes here? Okay. With the assload of capital for them, basically. So it's a pretty good deal. She's ready to argue for it, but Mo agrees. Okay, so she thought he was going to go in on her, but, you know, he's like, you know what, you did the right thing. It's a good call, and she's shocked about it. He apologizes for not treating her as a partner. Oh, my God. Mo put his big boy pants on for 5 seconds and apologized for being wrong. I'm shocked. He lets her know that he trusts her. That means a lot to Dawn, because we all know that women tend to get the shit into this deal. The next day, as Blair cleans up in the office with Tiff, women maids show up there to actually take all the trash out, because there's tons of trash after this whole shredding party. And let me see. Those women are looking something. They're up to something. They're looking for something. I don't know who sent them there, but they're looking for dirt on Mo's company, people in it. They need to use something against him. All right. So right as Blair is about to leave, Keith shows up off the elevator, all strutting his stuff, basically. He shows up once again trying to bully Blair. And Blair is like, you know what? You're gay. And I will use that info if I need to. Keith's like shocked. Like, what are you talking? He's like, I know you're gay, okay? Oh boy downstairs told me this is not a surprise. I got something on you. Now, while he's saying this, the maids standing behind him are taking all this in. Apparently, this is something they can use. They hit the jackpot. They got what they showed up there for. And it's a good thing, because these women were literally about to have to tape together all these shredded papers, and there was just huge things, bags of them. They would have been at this for a year trying to tape some mess together. Okay, so then we have Mo and Dawn, who return to the office with the good news of the deal that they struck, and everybody is overjoyed when they walk in and share the news. It's like a little party going on right there, okay? Mo admits he did show up at the Cedar Tavern to Dawn, okay? And he saw her kiss Blair. Man, she went, man, I don't even know what to say here. Dawn admits she went because of him. She was trying to meet Mo, and when he didn't show up, it reminded her of all the time he didn't show up when they were actually together in the past, okay? News to us here because they've never gone into great detail other than that it didn't work. Keith shows up with the money that the Yakuza, he was supposed to take the next payment to the Yakuza. Mo had given him the money to go, but he comes back, and Mo's like, oh my God, why do you have the money? And Keith's like, they wouldn't take the money. And Mo's like, what the hell are you talking about? And just at that moment, the phone rings, and oh my gosh, guess who it is? It's the twins that Mo hates, the twins who hate Mo, the twins who would do anything to try to get a leg up on Mo. And what they did was take the information that Dawn gave them, meaning the Yakuza now have 30% of the business. They went and bought that percentage of the business, and they called to let Mo know and gloat and clown and just ruin Rex shop, basically. Mo ends up hanging up on them, and he is pissed. He is so freaking mad. And Dawn's like, I'm sorry, and he's like, get the hell out of my office. And that's the end of the episode, y'all. Hope you enjoyed. If you like my videos, hit the like button, become a subscriber. Bye.